Okay, so pretty much everything that I speculated about that could potentially happen for the Multiverse of Madness has manifested into reality. So today we got sneak peek number 4 for the Multiverse of Madness, and this time we're getting a new uniform for Ancient One alongside a tier 3. Now this is kind of shocking. I thought Ancient One was gonna get an Awakened skill that she would be sharing with Baron Mordo, Caecilius, and Clea. However, tier 3 is what they decided to give to her. Some people are going to complain about this. It is what it is. This is not 2018, 2019 when characters' power level was determined by whether or not they were getting an Awakened skill or a tier 3. Look at Moonstone, look at Makari, look at Kate Bishop, look at Hawkeye. The power dynamic of tier 3 and Awakened skill is not predetermined, so it is what it is. However, I don't see Ancient One becoming a powerhouse. She or he has always been a support character with a good leadership, and I don't see that changing with this uniform or this tier 3. That being said, let's take a look at the patch notes because we did get the patch notes a couple hours following this sneak peek. So right here you can see, in addition to the new uniforms for Baron Mordo and Ancient One will be receiving a tier 3, and this new character called Baron Mondo, I'm just joking, it's Baron Mordo but there's a typo. I don't know how they spelled it right here, but got it wrong down here. But Baron Mondo is going to be sharing an Awakened skill with Caecilius and Clea. Again, I speculated that this was a possibility because of the fact that we saw them give Awakened skills to people like Sandman, Mysterio, and Vulture, even though they didn't get new uniforms for Spider-Man No Way Home. Now that being said, let's jump into the rest of the patch notes. Now this will be a rolling patch that will be applied in waves later on today. So there's not going to be any kind of maintenance, so you don't have to worry about the game going down. Later on, about 8 p.m. PDT, all you have to do is just log into the game and there will be a patch waiting for you. Now let's take a look at the new uniforms for Ancient One and Baron Mordo. So Ancient One's leadership is being buffed slightly from a 45% energy attack leadership for blast characters. This time around is going to be 50%, so a 5% increase there. The uniform bonus for Ancient One is being improved slightly. Before, it only gave her a 15% increase to her buff and debuff skills. However, now it's giving her a 20% buff, and she now has increased skill damage and bonus damage. Now keep in mind that this only applies to her and not her allies. I think they could have gone a step further here and made this apply to all allies to make her a better support character, because I think she's just going to be a supporting tier 3 and maybe not even a very good one for some people. Moving on, we have her 4-star passive. Ancient One's 4-star passive is actually pretty amazing. It gives her a 30% critical damage buff and 30% guaranteed critical rate. In addition to that, she has a 35% energy damage reflect, and this reflects up to 45% of her attack. I think this should have applied to all allies because I don't think Ancient One is going to be a top tier DPS. However, if she does, this is going to make her a prime candidate for Rage. This is significantly better than what she had before. In case you didn't know, this is what her 4-star passive looked like before. A 25% chance, so 1 in 4 times when you're attacking, she would refresh all of her skills with a 30-second cooldown. This was okay when it first came out, but it's mediocre now. This is significantly better. However, I think it would have been better suited to apply it to all allies. I think both her passives should have, or her passives and her uniform bonus. That's personally my opinion, but maybe that would be too much. Anyways, thank goodness her tier 2 passive still applies to all allies, so it gives 30% increased resistance, which is pretty good. 30% ignore dodge, which is 5% more than what she had before, and then a 40% damage buff for all elemental characters, which is 15% more than we had previously. So this is kind of why I'm saying that she's going to be a leader slash support because of the leadership and her tier 2 passive. If you take a look at her skills, it's not really anything to write home about. We do have paralysis here, but besides that, there's not really much. She does have time freeze. She keeps the invisibility and the ignore targeting for 5 seconds that she had previously on her 4th skill, and her 5th skill still heals for 5% of max HP. However, they did move around her debuff removal, and this might actually make her a worse striker, because before, Ancient One would pop out as a striker and use the Ancient Cure, and this would apply debuff removal in World Boss Ultimate or World Boss Legend, and that made her an amazing striker. So hopefully now she does her 5th skill skill. If not, then she's going to become a worse striker in this uniform, in my opinion. A better support, a slightly better leadership, but maybe not the best, or maybe no longer one of the best supporting strikers. Moving on, we have Baron Mordo, and unfortunately he is going to remain as a speed superhero in this MCU uniform. I think he would have been better suited in the blast villain category. We need more blast villains. However, moving on, if you take a look at his newest uniform, you can see right here it is significantly better, or at least the uniform bonus is significantly better. Before, the activation rate was a 10% chance when he was attacking. This time around, it's an 80% chance when he's hit. He's going to remove all debuffs for 4 seconds, which is amazing. You always love when debuff removal activates passively. That means you don't really need a debuff removal leadership for PvP. He also has a 100% chance to become immune to energy damage. This is always the case on his uniform. It's a 5-second duration, and he can reflect up to 50% of the energy damage received, and that is based on 60% of his maximum attack. All of this is on a 12-second cooldown, which is significantly better than the 30 seconds you had to wait previously. Moving on, we have Evil Oath, which is his 4-star passive, and this is actually pretty amazing. I spoke about this in my previous video on Baron Mordo, saying it would be nice if they would actually change his 4-star passive, lowering the cooldown time from 15 seconds, and they actually did that. They made it 8 seconds, which is going to be more in line with the traditional 1 skill damage proc. So I'm looking forward to seeing how much damage we can squeeze out of Baron Mordo now, because if you give him a 200% proc obelisk and stack that with his new uniform bonus, you're going to have a 300% damage proc at all times, every single rotation. So that's really cool. In addition to that, every single time you use Blade Whip, you will recover 20% of your max HP. So that's pretty cool. As you can see right here, Blade Whip is on a 16-second cooldown. So with 50% cooldown duration, you'll be able to cut this down to 8 seconds, which means it matches perfectly with his new 4-star passive. Every 8 seconds, you will get a 100% damage buff for 4 seconds, and you will get 20% of your HP back. This is amazing. This is going to stack up quite nicely with a single damage proc. So hopefully he's very, very proc friendly. If you take a look at his skills, however, the cooldown times are very low. So that means he should hopefully, if the animations are not very long, be very proc friendly. Moving on, we have his tier 2 passive, and as you can see, it gives him 30% guaranteed dodge, which is 15% than what he had before, and then they increase his skill damage and bonus damage, 5% more skill damage and 10% more bonus damage. They also decided to throw in a little bit of damage reduction. I would say a lot of bits, to be honest with you. 30% is very, very good. First skill is just pretty much damage. Second skill is stun. Third skill has silence and paralysis, so maybe he could be used for speed hero day in AVX. We'll have to wait and see. I don't expect him to outscore Makari by any means, but if you don't have Makari, you don't have Kate Bishop, you don't have Hawkeye, who knows? Maybe he could be an AVX character for you. Additionally, we do have native penetration here, 70% chance to penetrate super armor, barrier, shield, all damage, immunity, and invincibility, in addition to a 45% attack buff and 25% all defense with 15% all speed. That's actually pretty good. The only thing I'm not seeing here is damage accumulation. We also have silence and paralysis here again. We have super armor, all defense, and another attack buff for 50% and 40% critical rate. So maybe they're going the route of somebody like Silk, where they're not going to give him damage accumulation, but they're going to give him a lot of attack buffs and make those stackable. And with a single damage proc, he might actually be very, very powerful, because at all times you're going to have his 4-star passive up. So if you combine this with a 200% proc, that's going to be 300% more damage, plus all of these attack buffs activated at the same time. He might actually slap really, really hard. We'll have to wait and see. However, do keep in mind that the cooldown time on his 5th skill here is kind of long. Moving on, we have Ancient Ones tier 3. We got Time Freeze, Stun, Bind, and remove all buffs from target, which is not going to really work for World Boss Legend. This is more of a PvP thing. We also have Defense down, and we have a 60% chance to penetrate pretty much everything for 8 seconds, and a single damage proc that gives you 90% more attack for 1 skill. Okay, so Ancient Ones tier 3 actually looks pretty cool. We got Baron Mordo, Clea, and Caecilius all sharing an awakened skill, and it looks pretty standard. We don't have any damage accumulation in here, so that's kind of a bummer. So yeah, looks like they're not going to give Mordo any kind of accumulation. But like I said previously, he might actually still be very, very good. Moving on, we have Ancient One. And this again is actually something that I think should have applied to allies and not just self, because I don't see Ancient One being a top tier DPS. I don't know why they keep giving him buffs that apply to himself. I highly doubt anyone's going to be using him for DPS. But seeing as though this is the case, I will do a couple videos testing out Ancient One to see how his damage compares to some of the other blast characters that we have. So 15% extra damage to supervillain and 30% damage reduction. This might be pretty good for Alliance Conquest or maybe even Timeline Battle. We'll have to wait and see. Baron Mordo has a 20% chance when he's dodging to ignore the target's dodge and ignore iframe for 5 seconds with a 10-second cooldown. I don't really like this, to be honest with you. I think it's okay, but it's definitely not that great. Caecilius, however, has a pretty good one. As you can see right here, it's the same one as Scarlet Witch. So if Caecilius gets a major upgrade in the future, this will actually be something worth going for, but currently not really, because his damage overall as a character is not going to keep up with today's meta. But increasing the basic damage dealt to heroes and villains by 20% is pretty good. Clea's, however, we've never seen this before. Decrease skill cooldown by 10% and it increases all basic attacks by 15%. Looks kind of mid, to be honest with you guys, because your skill cooldown is capped at 50%. So unless this is going to make it so that your cooldowns are even lower than 50%, then it's not really going to be anything. Moving on, we do have a second string of anniversary events that are going to be starting today, so you want to still log into the game. Take a look at this, boys. We got the uniform options for Baron Mordo and Ancient One. However, do keep in mind that these uniforms are going to be on sale for 40% off, not 50% off like the first half of the update. Moving on, we have the uniform options for Ancient One, Loki, Agent of Asgard, which is terrible. We have Cersei, which is pretty good. Professor X, terrible. Blade, terrible. Mr. Fantastic, okay. Secondly, we have Baron Mordo. First option, Black Panther 3099 is terrible. Valkyrie is okay, and I only say okay because she's more than likely going to get a uniform for Thor Love and Thunder, so buying this right now is definitely not the wisest idea, especially if you're going to be buying it for 40% off versus the 50% off that you could have gotten for the first half of the anniversary. For the third slot, we have Deadpool's 30th anniversary black version. This uniform is already outdated. It was never even good, so that's kind of unfortunate that this is getting packed in here as well. Sif might potentially get a uniform for Thor Love and Thunder, but I haven't seen anything that implies that she's in the movie, so out of everything we've seen so far, this is probably the only one that you might want to get. Green Goblin, even though Green Goblin has a new uniform, this is not the worst thing in the world to buy, because this is going to buff the Dark Avengers like Moonstone, Sentry, and Ares. And when Green Goblin eventually gets a tier 3, you will be able to make use of this uniform in content like World Boss Legend. So not the worst option in the world. I think it's going to age quite nicely, especially when the Dark Avengers get uniforms. We also have a growth event coming for Ancient One, and I believe there should be one coming later on for Baron Mordo. However, we have a new token event, boys, which is really good, so make sure you log in every single day. Some of you guys missed out on the Mega Mythic uniform upgrade ticket. This time around, they're giving away a free level 70 ticket, which is going to take any one of your characters from level 60 to level 70. So you want to log in and you want to do all 50 of these events. Some of them are going to be daily events and others are going to be one time only. And from doing all of these events, you will be able to pick up a premium card, which I always recommend. However, if you want to go for the CTP chest, that's completely up to you. You can also go for the Mega Tier 2. There's an artifact selector here and a special icon for Doctor Strange. Up to you what you want to pick. But for me, on both of my accounts, both free to play and the whale account, I will be going for the premium comic card. Can never have too many because it takes a lot of cards to get the perfect comic card set. And ladies and gentlemen, finally the Transcendent selector is here. I told you guys that there was a high probability that this was going to be coming with the second string of the events, and lo and behold, it is here. And day one, you will be able to pick up a free Transcendent character, which includes Spider-Gwen, Elsa Bloodstone, Moon Knight, Medusa, Amadeus Cho, Red Skull, Shadow Shell, War Tiger, Red Guardian, Dr. Octavius, which is the one you should probably be going for. We have Silk, Bullseye, Heimdall, Sif, Yeah, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, and Human Torch. Let's freaking go, boys. So they added quite a few options in here. I don't believe Bullseye was in here. I don't believe Heimdall was in here. Sif, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, Human Torch are all brand new options. So if you guys want me to do a tier list video ranking this Transcendent character selector, let me know and I could definitely do that. I think we have some amazing options to choose from this time around. Even though some of these heroes are falling off, characters like Dr. Octavius are on the rise, and the same goes for Sif. If you pick up her uniform, which transforms her into an amazing leader for combat characters and an amazing support for PvE content in general. Moving on, we have a energy bonus event, and we're also going to be getting some rank 1 black antimatter and some chaos normstone. We have a ranking event coming for Ancient One and Caecilius. Whoever is going to be pushing for Caecilius, good luck to you, man. I don't know why you're going to be stacking this guy with Odin's blessings to get rank 1, but who knows, maybe the rewards will be worth it to you. For me, I'm definitely not going to be pushing rank 1 for any of these guys. Maybe Baron Mordo. We'll have to wait and see. Moving on, we have a coupon, which is MFF will continue. They're letting you know if you think the game is dying, it ain't happening. MFF will continue. We don't know what the coupon is going to give out yet, but this should be active after the reset today. So a couple hours after this video goes live, we'll be able to see what this gives out. Moving on, we have a hero package, which allows you to buy Ancient One and Baron Mordo for 2,500 crystals. Don't do it, okay? You're wasting crystals. You're messing up if you do this. If you want to spend 2,500 crystals, spend it on like Emma Frost, because apparently Emma Frost is not going to be on sale. None of the crystal characters are coming back for the anniversary. Sad life, boys. It's the one thing that I was wrong on this year. But to be honest, we've never seen them sell or give a discount on the crystal characters for the anniversary. I was just hoping that this year they would add those characters in, because people like Professor X, Negasonic, Abomination, and such are very, very hard to get from Dimension missions. Moving on, we have an Ancient Relay, which allows you to pick up over 30,000 crystals and 5 Titan records. So if you're down bad on books or you're down bad on crystals, you can spend a couple $100 and you can pick up 5 books and over 30,000 crystals. I'm not gonna buy this because I don't need any of these things. I have enough books to tier 3 whoever I want. Additionally, we have the Mystic chest coming in with Ancient One, looking kind of spicy. However, this chest right here, not really for me. I don't need the bios, and I don't think anyone needs the bios for Ancient One. You can easily get these bios from the support shop or the Doctor Strange Epic Quest missions, which will have double the drop rate for character biometrics. Additionally, for the first time ever, if you gamble on the artifact chest, which is this thing right here, you will have a chance of receiving 5 and 6 star artifacts. As you can see right here, whenever you're gambling for artifacts, you only have a chance of picking up a 4-star maximum. However, during this event period, you will have a chance of picking up 5 and 6 stars. Now, for me personally, I am not going to be going hard on this thing. I might not even touch it at all. I prefer to go for the guaranteed selectors, but as you can see right here, you have a chance of picking up 5 and 6 star artifacts. However, it is completely random, so you could end up with useless artifacts like the ones for Luna, Snow, and others. For me personally, I prefer the Black Friday or anniversary events where you spend a bunch of crystals or spend a bunch of money and you are guaranteed to get a selector of your choosing. So this is still not for me. I'm just gonna leave it alone. If you're a super whale though, good luck and happy whaling. Last but not least, we have the never-ending 7-year event token package, which will allow you to clear out this event shop here if you so desire. For me personally, I think I'll just stick with the free tokens that we get and get the premium card. I don't really need CTPs that badly, but if you want to get the card and the CTP, or even the 4-star artifact, depending on what's in here, you can go ahead and you can purchase some additional tokens from this package. I think this one is the better of the 2 deals, but it's completely up to you what you want to pick up. So we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me your thoughts in the comments, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.